Welcome, Rare Gems. When it comes to the debate between alpha females and sigma females, it's like watching a game of chess, where one player is playing checkers and doesn't even realize it. Sure, alpha females are loud, confident, and take charge. They love being the queens of the board. But what happens when someone like the sigma female comes in, someone who doesn't even care about the game, yet somehow keeps winning it? It's like trying to compete with someone who isn't even trying to compete. Sounds confusing, right? But that's the whole point. See, alpha females thrive in the spotlight leading the pack, but sigma females, they don't even need a pack to begin with. While the alpha is busy managing her empire, the sigma is quietly working in the shadows, pulling strings no one even knows exist. It's not about being louder, stronger, or more visible. It's about being smarter, quieter, and more unpredictable. So let's be real. The reason alpha females can't compete with sigma females is simple. You can't beat someone who doesn't care about beating you. The sigma female isn't even in the same arena. She's too busy creating her own. Let's get started. Rare Gems. To gain a better understanding, I recommend watching the video in its entirety, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Number 1. Alpha seeks victory in competition, sigma prefers victory in strategy. When it comes to alpha females, everything is a competition. They see life as a race, and they need to cross that finish line first, no matter the cost. Whether it's at work, in social settings, or even within their own families, alphas want to win. For them, victory is about beating someone else, being the best, being recognized, and leaving no question about who's in charge. It's exhausting, really. Every moment is a battle to be the loudest voice in the room, the most accomplished, the one everyone remembers. Now, enter the sigma female who doesn't play by the same rules. While the alpha is sprinting towards the finish line, the sigma is quietly plotting her own course, one that no one else even notices. She's not interested in head-to-head battles. Why bother when she can achieve what she wants without all the noise? The sigma knows that real power comes from playing the long game, from working behind the scenes, making subtle moves that set her up for success without anyone even realizing it. By the time people catch on to what she's doing, it's too late. She's already won, without lifting a finger in direct competition. In the end, the alpha may win the battle, but the sigma wins the war. And what's truly genius? The sigma makes it look effortless, leaving the alpha wondering why she ever bothered trying so hard in the first place. Victory by strategy always beats victory by exhaustion. Number 2. Alpha dominates others, sigma masters herself. Alpha females often gauge their success by how well they can dominate others, whether it's through influence, control, or just being the one calling the shots. They thrive on knowing that they can shape other people's actions, opinions, and even emotions. It's all about asserting power over their environment. And sure, in some cases that works. Alphas can get results by being the loudest in the room or the one steering the ship. But the issue is when your power is dependent on others, it's fragile. The second people push back or refuse to be controlled, that power crumbles. On the flip side, sigma females operate on a completely different wavelength. They don't waste time trying to dominate others because they understand something more powerful. The only real control you can have is over yourself. Sigma females focus on mastering their mind, emotions, and abilities, which makes them untouchable. They don't need to manipulate or influence others to feel powerful. By mastering themselves, they create a level of inner strength and self-sufficiency that no alpha can match. While the alpha is busy trying to assert dominance externally, the sigma is quietly honing her skills, becoming the best version of herself. And in the end, it's this self-mastery that gives her the edge. She doesn't need to dominate anyone else. Her control over herself makes her more powerful than any external influence could ever achieve. Number 3. Alpha controls the room. Sigma reads the room. Alpha females love to take charge of any space they walk into. They make their presence known by being the loudest voice, the one who commands attention, and they thrive on controlling the room. Whether it's at work, a social gathering, or even a family event, they want to be the center of everything. And for the most part, it works. They dominate through sheer force of will, ensuring everyone knows they're in charge. But there's a downside to this. Being the loudest often means you miss out on the subtle dynamics that are really driving the room. Sigma females, on the other hand, play a completely different game. They don't need to control the room because they're too busy reading it. While the alpha is asserting herself, the sigma is quietly observing, picking up on the undercurrents that go unnoticed. She understands people's motivations, who's really pulling the strings, and what's happening beneath the surface. Her silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. The sigma female doesn't need to assert herself loudly because she knows exactly when and where to act. She can strike with precision when the moment is right or hold back when it's more advantageous to do so. In the end, while the alpha might have control of the room in the moment, the sigma is the one who truly understands it. And that understanding gives her the power to move in ways the alpha never sees coming. Thank you, Rare Gems, for being a valued subscriber. Your continued support is incredibly important to us and inspires us to keep producing meaningful content. We truly appreciate your engagement and support. Number 4. Alpha asserts power through control, sigma through influence. Alpha females often assert their power by maintaining control over everything around them. Whether it's at work, within their social circles, or even in personal relationships, they thrive on having a firm grip on people and situations. They micromanage, take charge, and make sure everyone knows who's running the show. But this kind of control comes at a price. It's exhausting and fragile. You have to constantly stay on top of everything and everyone to keep that power intact. Sigma females, however, have a different approach. They understand that true power doesn't come from direct control, but from influence. They don't need to micromanage or dominate anyone. Instead, they quietly shape outcomes from the sidelines. While the alpha is busy trying to control everything, the sigma is subtly guiding things in her favor, influencing decisions and directions without making it obvious. This influence is much more powerful because it's invisible. People aren't aware they're being influenced, so they don't resist it. The sigma female can get what she wants without having to force it. She plays the long game, allowing her quiet influence to build over time until she's the one pulling the strings without ever having to lift a finger. While the alpha spends her energy maintaining control, the sigma operates with ease, proving that influence beats control every time. Number 5. Alpha demands respect. Sigma commands it without asking. Alpha females often demand respect by asserting their presence and making it known that they are in charge. Whether it's through their voice, their actions, or their dominance in a room, they expect others to acknowledge their authority. It's a constant push for recognition, where respect is something they chase by proving themselves over and over again. And while this approach can certainly get results, it can also create friction. When you demand respect, people may give it, but not always willingly. Sigma females operate on a completely different level. They don't ask for respect, and they definitely don't demand it. Instead, they command it effortlessly through their quiet confidence. There's something about the way they carry themselves, calm, composed, and fully in control of their own space, that naturally draws respect from others. They don't need to be the loudest in the room or the most dominant. Their subtle, strategic way of moving through life makes people take notice, even if they don't realize why. What makes Sigma females stand out is their ability to influence without ever raising their voice or making a spectacle of their power. Respect comes to them naturally because they've mastered the art of being respected without seeking it. Their presence speaks for itself. While alpha females are busy pushing for acknowledgement, the sigma female has already earned it just by being who she is. Respect in her world is given, not demanded, and that makes it all the more powerful. Number 6. Alpha thrives in conflict, sigma thrives in chaos. Alpha females excel when there's direct conflict. They thrive on confrontation, seeing it as an opportunity to prove their strength and dominance. When a challenge arises, they jump headfirst into battle, eager to win and assert their superiority. For them, conflict is a test of willpower, and they're more than willing to go toe-to-toe with anyone who dares to oppose them. But this approach can become exhausting. Being constantly in battle mode means they're always on the offensive, always in a fight to maintain control. Sigma females, on the other hand, aren't interested in these head-to-head battles. They're not looking for a showdown because they don't need to prove anything through direct conflict. Instead, they thrive in the broader chaos of life itself. While the alpha is busy locking horns with an opponent, the sigma is quietly navigating the unpredictable, ever-shifting landscape around her. She absorbs the chaos, understands its patterns, and uses it to her advantage. Chaos doesn't rattle a sigma female. It sharpens her instincts. She knows that while everyone else is focused on the immediate conflict, the real power lies in organizing the aftermath, steering the chaos toward her desired outcome. By the time the alpha has won her battle, the sigma has already rearranged the playing field. She's 5 steps ahead, turning what looks like disorder into an opportunity for victory. It's not about fighting the storm, it's about mastering it from within. Number 7. Alpha seeks status, sigma seeks substance. Alpha females are often driven by the pursuit of status. They chase the titles, roles, and accolades that visibly signal their success to the world. Whether it's climbing the corporate ladder, gaining social influence, or being seen as a leader, they seek recognition that confirms their dominance. To them, status is proof of their worth and a way to ensure they're respected and acknowledged. But this focus on external validation can sometimes lead to hollow victories, having the title without the substance to back it up. Sigma females, on the other hand, don't care about status symbols. Titles, awards, and visible markers of success hold little interest for them. What matters is substance, developing real skills, gaining deep knowledge, and accumulating genuine experience. They aren't concerned with how others perceive them. Their focus is on what they can actually do. While alphas may spend time polishing their image, sigmas are quietly honing their abilities, building a foundation that doesn't need validation from anyone. In the end, this focus on substance gives the sigma female a deeper kind of power. She doesn't need a title to prove her worth, because her actions, skills, and results speak for themselves. While the alpha is busy showcasing her status, the sigma has already built something real and lasting. It's the difference between wearing a crown and actually knowing how to lead. One looks good, the other gets things done. Number 8. The alpha chases visibility. The sigma masters invisibility. Alpha females love the spotlight. They thrive on being seen, heard, and acknowledged. Every achievement, every move, they want people to notice. Whether it's in the office, at a social event, or even on social media, alpha females are all about visibility. To them, being recognized means being powerful. And in a way, it works. People see them, admire them, maybe even envy them. But the problem is, when you're always front and center, you're also an easy target. Everyone knows your moves before you make them, and that visibility can quickly turn into vulnerability. Now, sigma females play a completely different game. They don't care about being seen, and they certainly don't need validation from others. In fact, they'd rather go unnoticed until it's absolutely necessary. Their power comes from staying in the background, quietly observing while everyone else scrambles for attention. They're like the silent operators, pulling strings behind the scenes, and by the time they step into the light, the work is already done. The beauty of invisibility is that no one sees you coming. While the alpha is busy proving she's in charge, the sigma is calmly planning her next move in the shadows. It's not about being loud or flashy, it's about being strategic and selective. And when the sigma finally decides to show up, she's already won, leaving everyone else wondering how she did it so quietly. Power isn't in being seen, it's in knowing when to be invisible. Number 9. Alpha gets distracted by rivals, sigma has none. Alpha females often find themselves wrapped up in competition, constantly aware of who's challenging their position or threatening their dominance. They thrive on rivalry, but it also distracts them. Whether it's trying to outdo someone at work or outshine someone in their social circle, their focus is split between their goals and keeping an eye on the competition. Rivals become an obsession, pulling them away from what they should be concentrating on and making them vulnerable to distractions. Sigma females, however, don't operate in that space at all. They don't see anyone as a rival because, to them, there's no competition. They've never defined success by comparing themselves to others, so there's no reason to get distracted by what anyone else is doing. Their only competitor is themselves, constantly striving to be better than they were yesterday. This mindset frees them from the endless cycle of rivalry that consumes the alpha. Without rivals, the sigma becomes unstoppable. While others are busy worrying about who's catching up or who's threatening their status, the sigma is focused purely on her own growth and goals. She's not slowed down by distractions or consumed by the need to beat someone else because her path is uniquely her own. In this sense, the sigma moves faster and with more purpose, achieving more than any alpha who's caught up in the race with others. Number 10. Alpha shows off her strength, sigma masks her intelligence. Alpha females often lead with their strength, making sure their presence is felt in every room they enter. They assert themselves, showing off their power and using their visible dominance to command attention and respect. It's a straightforward "here I am" approach, where their strength is on full display for everyone to see. While this can make them seem formidable, it also means everyone knows exactly what they're up against. There's no surprise factor when you're always showing your cards. Sigma females take a completely different route. They don't care about being seen as the strongest in the room. In fact, they're happy to let others think they're less capable than they actually are. Their intelligence is their secret weapon, and they intentionally mask it to keep people guessing. By allowing others to underestimate them, Sigma females gain the advantage of surprise. While everyone else is busy trying to figure them out or dismissing them as a non-threat, they're already strategizing their next move. It's this ability to stay under the radar that makes Sigma females so powerful. They don't need to flaunt their strength because they know true power isn't about being the loudest or most visible. It's about knowing when to act and catching everyone off guard. While alpha females might win through brute force, Sigma females win by outsmarting everyone around them, just when no one expects it. Number 11. Alpha relies on hierarchies, Sigma disregards them. Alpha females often flourish in environments where hierarchies are established and roles are clearly defined. They navigate these systems with ease, leveraging their position to assert dominance and climb the ranks. For them, the ladder is not just a way to measure success. It's the playing field where they showcase their skills and fight for recognition. They know how to work the system to their advantage, using established structures to propel themselves forward. However, this reliance on hierarchy can also make them predictable and somewhat constrained by the very systems they excel in. In stark contrast, Sigma females reject these hierarchical frameworks entirely. They see the world as a vast landscape of possibilities, choosing to play by their own rules rather than conforming to societal expectations. This rejection of traditional structures makes them incredibly adaptable and hard to define. They operate outside the usual boundaries, allowing them to maneuver freely and creatively, unhindered by the limitations others impose on themselves. By disregarding hierarchies, Sigma females become impossible to control or outsmart. They're not bound by titles or positions. Instead, they thrive in the spaces in between, where innovation and originality flourish. While alpha females may excel in well-defined environments, Sigma females carve their own paths, constantly redefining what success looks like on their terms. In this way, they possess a unique kind of freedom that makes them formidable, capable of navigating challenges that leave others stuck in conventional roles. In the grand showdown between alpha and Sigma females, it's clear that the game is played on entirely different fields. Alphas may strut around demanding respect and showcasing their strength, but the Sigma quietly navigates the landscape, wielding her intelligence like a secret weapon. While alphas rely on control and hierarchy to assert their dominance, Sigmas are out there rewriting the rules of engagement, using their freedom to adapt and thrive in ways alphas can't even imagine. It's like comparing a lioness, roaring and ruling the savannah, to a stealthy fox, darting through the underbrush, always a few steps ahead. The alpha may have the loudest roar, but the Sigma has the cleverest strategies. At the end of the day, it's not about who's in the spotlight or who's making the loudest noise. It's about who's actually getting things done, often without anyone even noticing. So, while alpha females might believe they're on top of their game, the sigma female is out there living her best life, unbothered and unapologetic. She's the one making moves while others are busy keeping tabs on each other. In this competition, the real winner isn't always the one everyone sees coming. Sometimes it's the one who knows how to stay just out of sight, making waves in the shadows. So, next time you find yourself caught in the alpha game, remember, it's not always the loudest who wins. Sometimes it's the quiet achiever who walks away with the prize. Thank you, Rare Gems, for tuning in. Stay vigilant as always. See you in our next video. God bless you.